Chloe. This is my story. Ugh, strap in. And remember to like and subscribe. I was born to the wealthiest family in town. No, I'm not talking normal rich. We were stupid rich. Dad's a billionaire oil tycoon and Mom's a socialite, so I rarely saw them. But they always spoiled me rotten. As for me, I was enjoying my best life. I was popular in school, everyone adored me, and people would yell how gorgeous I was as I walked by. When I was 13, my dad brought me to Little Miss California since he was a judge. People were shocked when they saw me. This is the look we want. She should be crowned. Dad beamed with pride, but when the other contestants heard this, they weren't happy. Especially this one girl, Molly, who threw a massive tantrum. That's so unfair. We've been practicing for weeks, and she just walks in and wins? All the other contestants agreed, but the judges didn't care. The next day, a video of her tantrum was all over Facebook. It's bad enough she felt I'd stolen her crown, but now she had an army of bullies after her. I felt horrible. Desperate to fix it, I begged Dad to redo the contest and sponsor a scholarship for the top 3 winners. The girls were ecstatic, and Dad loved the positive press. Molly won, and I was so happy for her. She visited me and brought me a huge bouquet of flowers. I just want to say thanks. I see why they chose you. You're gorgeous, but I worked my butt off to win that competition. Sometimes being rich has its perks. Besides, don't talk like that. You are just as pretty. Stick with me, kid. You're insane, but I like you. I like you too. Let's be besties. Deal? Deal. From that day, we became inseparable and did everything together. Although Molly and I were total opposites, we got along super well. She was the serious nerd to my carefree self. Some might say I was spoiled, which is true, but it never bothered Molly one bit. I wasn't the best student, so she'd always let me copy her homework, and I loved buying her new clothes and books. In the 8th grade, I made Dad enroll Molly with me in a private school. She didn't want to go at first, but there was no way I'd face high school without her, so I didn't give her a choice. One morning in the cafeteria, I was busy copying Molly's homework like always, when suddenly she began freaking out. OMG, he's the boy I told you about. Here comes Jesse. I've been crushing on him for weeks. Okay. Wow. I wonder what he wants. Jesse came over and sat down next to Molly. So, I wanted to ask you out on a date. How's Friday? Oh, wow. Jesse? Yes, Friday is perfect. Holly? I was talking to Chloe. So, what do you say? That jerk. If you can bring me my favorite flower, I'll consider it. It's called the violet monk's hood. Chloe? That flower only grows... Shh! Jesse is up for a challenge, right? Yeah, of course. I'll get on it right now. Jesse ran off happily, and I felt good about teaching him a lesson. The only way he'd ever get that flower was with a quick trip to the Himalayan mountains. What a moron! But Molly looked upset at me. What the crap? He called you Holly. He deserves it. Mess with them before they mess with you. I don't need you to fight my battles. Give me my books back. You don't deserve the answers after that stunt. Molly grabbed her books and stormed off angrily, leaving me stunned. I was just trying to help. Whatever. That was hilarious. After school, I packed my bags for my first sleepover at Molly's house. I visited there often, but she never invited me to stay the night. But with my birthday around the corner, I only had one wish, to have a sleepover at her house. She had no choice but to say yes. Molly's mom was the sweetest woman alive and went out of her way to cook amazing food. As soon as I opened the door, she had me in a bear hug. Coco, come in. Oh, you're all skin and bone. Let Auntie make you something yummy. Bring it on, Mrs. G. I'm starving. While I waited at the dinner table, something great happened. Molly's older brother Lucas walked in, and oh my gosh, when we made eye contact, I thought I was gonna faint. What's it been? Like 2 years? Coco? Where have you been hiding, handsome? Chloe, ew! Lucas has been away at boarding school. He's at the top of his class in physics. That's interesting. And you? What have you been up to? You look great. The way he looked at me made me blush. Well, you know Chloe, breaking hearts and taking the fashion world by storm, one maxed out credit card at a time. Rude. I haven't done that in weeks. Don't worry, I still love you, even if you are a spoiled daddy's girl.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Chloe. She's a force not to be messed with.
His cheeky smile sent my heart racing. The rest of the night went fine. Molly and I laughed, played games, and did dating quizzes online. But I could tell something was going on with Molly. She seemed different. Molly passed out in a bag of marshmallows, but I was still feeling hungry. So I decided to sneak downstairs for more of Mrs. G's amazing leftovers. As I stuffed my face, I heard someone giggle behind me. You scared me.
Hungry, are we?
You know me. It's even better cold.
I was hoping to run into you this weekend.
Oh?
Yeah, you sure have gotten beautiful. I've kinda had a crush on you for a long time. You're so funny and carefree. I've always liked that about you.
Why are you only telling me this now?
Because of Molly. She said you're strictly off limits. But I can't hide it anymore.
Was he going to kiss me? My stomach did a funny flip and I dropped the food bowl onto the floor. Just then, the light flicked on and Molly glared at us angrily. What the crap is going on here?
I was helping Chloe here clean up this mess. Chill out.
Get lost, Lucas. And you? Go upstairs. Now! I quickly cleaned up as I watched Lucas leave. Before he disappeared, he turned and winked at me. Back upstairs, Molly slammed her door. You can have any guy you want, Chloe, but not my brother. Calm down. That was nothing. He's a good guy with a bright future. I won't let you treat him like all the other boys at school. I'd never seen her this mad before. Excuse me, what's been your deal lately? Mess with them before they mess with you, right? Did you know Jesse dropped out of school this week to get you that stupid flower? Oh, please. Jimmy knows that was a joke. His name is Jesse, and no, he doesn't. He did go. It was a joke. What a moron. Molly's face said she didn't find it half as funny as I did. Just go home, Chloe. While you're at it, stay away from my brother. I won't let you hurt him. Come on, don't be like that. Molly turned her back to me. I had no idea she felt this strongly. Maybe I did take it too far with Jesse. Later that night, I texted Jesse and apologized. I told him to forget about the flower and come home, but he never responded. Molly was still mad the next day at school, but I refused to accept it. Please, let's just make up. I'll take you to your favorite place in the whole world. Ugh, fine. But make me one promise, okay? Anything. Promise me you'll stay away from Lucas. I wanted to promise instantly, but I paused. Something about Lucas I just couldn't shake. Earth to Chloe, promise me. Swear on our friendship. Okay. I promise. A few days passed since seeing Lucas, but I couldn't stop thinking about him. I'd never felt this way before. But a promise is a promise. Later that night, I got a text from an unknown number. Wanna go for a walk? Meet me at the gate. Lucas. Lucas was here? I jumped out of bed, dressed quickly, and rushed to the gate. When I got there, Lucas stood behind some bushes, waiting. He looked so handsome. What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you. Walk with me, please.
I opened the gate, and we walked the grounds of our estate and talked for hours. For the first time, I saw him as just Lucas, not Molly's older brother. I had no idea he was so smart and kind and sweet, and the longer we spoke, the more I began to like him. But I couldn't help but feel guilty for betraying Molly.
What's wrong?
I'm a bad friend.
It's not like we're breaking any rules, right?
I am, though. Molly thinks I'll break your heart. Lucas took my hand.
I'm a big boy, Chloe. If I decide to give someone my heart, it's because I trust them with it. And I trust you.
Lucas stepped closer and cupped my cheek in his hand. But I love Molly, and she'll never forgive me.
She doesn't have to know.
I wanted to say no, but just then, Lucas pulled me in for the most magical kiss. I kissed him back, and it felt so good for a second. But suddenly, I remembered Molly and my promise. Wait, this wasn't right. Lucas, stop. We can't. I'm sorry. Molly's my best friend. Leave me alone, please. I ran home and away from temptation. The next day, I ignored Lucas the entire time. I couldn't be around him anymore. The best way out was to make a move on the first guy I could find, and when I found the perfect one, I walked right up to him. I have a craving for sushi. Want to take me out tonight and get some? Pick me up at 8. I nudged him on the shoulder and walked away, leaving him speechless. I should find out what his name is. Later that night, I was getting ready for my date when someone knocked on my window. Lucas, what do you want?
You're not responding to my texts.
That's on purpose. Go away. I have a date.
A date? With who?
His name is, Kenneth, and he's hot and sweet. So get lost before he sees you.
I know what you're doing. It's not gonna work.
His smug look made me want to slap him. Just stop. You and I can't work, ever. Accept it and move on.
Fine, I'll move on, if you can do one thing.
What? Lucas gently leaned in, almost kissing me. I felt my knees go weak.
Go your entire date without thinking about me once. Then I'll move on.
Easy. As soon as Lucas left, I canceled the date. He was right, and I had to confess. I texted Molly to meet me at my house, and I told her everything the following day. I know you hate me, but I can't keep this from you anymore. I'm so sorry. I can't believe you. I told him to leave me alone. You promised. That's why I'm telling you. I knew it was wrong the second he kissed me, so I stopped him. You still did it, even after I begged you not to. I knew Molly was hurt, but now she was just being mean. Oh, like you're so perfect. You're just as bad as me, except I don't pretend to be this sweet, innocent little victim. Excuse me? You let me send Jesse away because he hurt you. You could have stopped him, but you didn't. That's different. You're the one who sent him to get you a flower from across the world. You're a selfish, rich, spoiled brat. That's never bothered you before. I splurged on you and you never said a word. Suddenly, you have a problem with my money because you didn't get your way? Don't you think that's a bit selfish? I regretted the words instantly, and Molly stormed off in tears before I could apologize. My heart was broken, but if that's how Molly wants to treat me for doing the right thing, then I'll follow my heart. Straight to Lucas. I called him immediately, and within 30 minutes he came to my house. Molly hates me, Lucas. We had an awful fight.
She'll calm down. Just give her time.
I don't know. Not this time. I said some horrible stuff. Lucas pulled me closer and kissed me softly on the forehead. For the next few weeks, we were inseparable. We did everything together, and I couldn't have been happier. But I missed Molly too. For weeks after that, Molly ignored me. She didn't even RSVP to my birthday party. This was the first time I had celebrated without her, and it broke my heart. But then, Molly texted me just before my party, and I was thrilled. I skipped the party to meet her near the fountain, but I couldn't find her. Just then, someone walked out of the darkness, and when they finally came closer, it was Jesse? Before I could stop him, he grabbed me by the waist and kissed me while Lucas and Molly stood behind me. I pushed him away, but it was too late. Lucas was fuming. I can explain. It was Jesse.
Save it. Molly was right about you.
He stormed off and drove away in his car as Molly turned to me. Finally, Lucas sees the real you. What are you talking about? Do you know that Lucas gave up a huge scholarship to stay with you? Of course not. You only care about yourself, Chloe. That's not true. I love Lucas, but that never mattered to you at all. I fought back tears as Molly looked at me in surprise. Just leave me alone. You ruined everything. For the next few weeks, I ignored both of them. I was done with everything and needed to focus on myself. It was all going well until Molly came to my house one morning in a panic. Lucas, he had an accident. We have to leave, now. We rushed to the hospital, and when we arrived, I was so happy to see Lucas standing in the hallway, unharmed. I'm so glad you're okay. Lucas, Chloe, I'm sorry. I had no idea you were serious. Molly confessed to everything as Lucas looked at her in shock before turning to me.
I'm sorry for not trusting you. Let's just put all of this behind us, please?
I'm happy you're safe, but no. I'm done trying to prove myself. To both of you, I can't keep playing games like this.
What are you saying, Chloe?
Goodbye, Lucas. I turned around and left before Lucas could stop me. I had to put him before me, even if that broke my heart. I couldn't focus for days. My dad recommended a fashion program in Paris, so I enrolled. This helped me escape from Molly and Lucas. The day before I was about to leave, I got a visitor. When I opened the door, Jesse stood in front of me, holding the violet monkswood flower.
Chloe, happy belated birthday. When can I pick you up?
Oh God, Jesse, you really did it. I was just joking.
Are you kidding me? Do you know what I went through to get that? I missed my exams. I have to go to summer school now.
I'm so sorry, Jesse. I'll make it up to you, somehow. After Jesse left, I realized what a horrible person I had been. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I needed this trip more than I realized. Later that night, I decided to cyberstalk Lucas and saw that he'd missed out on a huge scholarship opportunity. I immediately called the school and told them I'd anonymously pay his fees. At least I'd be able to help him in some way. The next day at the airport, I was just about to get onto the plane when I heard someone shouting my name as I was headed to the boarding gate. I turned around to see Lucas running in my direction. If you're here to stop me, don't.
I just had to say, I love you. No amount of time or distance will change that.
I love you too, but I have to do this. I have to change.
I know. I'll wait as long as it takes.
I've been miserable without you, Lucas. But promise me, no more sacrifices. Your future comes first.
I knew that was you. Come here.
Lucas held me close and kissed me softly. After we said goodbye, I got on the plane and smiled. New life? Here I come.